All very good fights. But when we get to comparing them to Floyd and other greats, we can't do that because it does them no justice.
Floyd Mayweather just always gives his enemies and haters talking points. And after his most recent scandal, he's in for whatever he gets. He's gotten his first response from the former chief executive officer of Mayweather Promotions, Leonard Ellerbe, who was with him all through his long history of domestic violence. In case you had no idea, Floyd Mayweather makes up one of the many athletes to have spent time in jail, and it's for no other reason than domestic violence.
I'll drop my location.
Leonard Ellerbe graced an interview where he revealed more shocking details about Floyd Mayweather and his present and past relationships and his relationship with women generally. Most of Mayweather's domestic violence cases happened with Leonard Ellerbe by his side, and of course, the former CEO surely understood the psychology behind most of Mayweather's actions. While he remained quite respectful, he made some shocking revelations about the former world champion.
Floyd had posted that you was no longer a part of Mayweather Promotions. You care to say anything about that?
There's nothing to say other than I appreciate the opportunity.
Leonard Ellerbe began with his long history of violence. Floyd has an issue that he's not dealt with, and this forms why he doesn't maintain relationships so well. And when it comes to women, it's on another level. I saw it with others, and I saw it coming with Nabila. This may be very strange to the general public who thought the pair were doing so well and were planning a long future together. Well, it's mostly like that with abusive relationships. The public sees a thing, while insiders see the opposite. This is the case with Floyd Mayweather and Nabila, who has temporarily moved out of his house.
There's so many things, so many different things I'm involved with. My name don't have to be on everything.
I have to be the marquee.
Yeah, because sometimes if you put your name on certain things, you got people that's gonna be jealous.
I've seen cases of emotional abuse between them, but she's been lucky it never got physical. I guess the older he grows, the less he wants to do this. And for him to have done this means it got really heated. I'm not excusing him though. Floyd's a great person, but these aspects he refuses to work on makes him paint another image of himself to the public. Fans who had seen the interview were quick to link Leonard Ellerbe's claim of emotional abuse to the recent video between the couple, where Mayweather claimed to be the more manipulative person of the pair.
Who is more manipulative?
Leonard Ellerbe then went on to reveal details of other women with similar issues with Floyd Mayweather, while advising women to be watchful of the men they get together with, even if they find them attractive and wealthy. The boxer has a well-known history of domestic abuse allegations that have been consistently overlooked with each of his historic wins. The line between what should happen in the ring and outside of it have become as blurred for Mayweather as they have for his opponents who use these allegations as fodder for trash talk.
To do something amazing. We had an incredible run, and I'm forever grateful and thankful.
While Floyd Mayweather prepared for his exhibition fight against Logan Paul, Paul brought up Mayweather's domestic abuse history on their pre-match press run as a quippy comeback when the latter poked fun at Paul's suicide forest controversy in Japan. "I know what you did in Japan," Mayweather said before Paul jumped in with the insult.
Fucked up. One bum, two bums. Are you kidding me? Absolutely not. Oh, you walked in with your whole squad of people.
"I know what you did to your wife. He's 50, 0, he's not, he's 51, 1 because he beat his wife too." The response of cheers and hoots from the crowd showcased how Mayweather's repeated violence against women has become just another chapter in his legend, and that feels profoundly wrong. What exists as long-standing trauma for his ex-girlfriends has never stopped Mayweather from making millions from inflicting the same violence against boxing opponents.
Circle jerk each other? You got 8 bodyguards?
No, I don't. I love my people. I stand behind my people, and I
can
stand
tell
strong
all 8
behind
of
my
them
people.
in the middle. So
Beginning in 2002, Mayweather has faced multiple charges for assaulting women, all while on the rise to meteoric boxing success. Floyd Mayweather pleaded guilty to domestic violence in 2002. Mayweather pleaded guilty to 2 counts of domestic battery and 1 unrelated count of misdemeanor battery that occurred between 2001 and 2002. The victim was Melissa Brim, the mother of his eldest daughter, who claimed that Mayweather punched her in the face during an argument. The boxer was slapped with a suspended 6-month jail sentence, a $3,000 fine, 48 hours of community service, and 2 days of house arrest after the incidents in question. Mayweather attacked 2 women in Las Vegas in 2003.
You got to realize this. Without YouTube, without the computer,
I'm rich.
A year later, Mayweather assaulted 2 women in a Las Vegas nightclub and was found guilty on 2 counts of domestic battery and given a suspended 6-month prison sentence for each assault. The women were friends of Josie Harris, the mother of 3 of Mayweather's children. They testified that the boxer punched one of them in the cheek and the other on the back of the head as she tried to help her friend off the ground. In 2005, Mayweather was acquitted after allegedly kicking and hitting Harris outside a nightclub in Las Vegas.
I know what he did to Japan, so guess what? You have to pay for what you did to Japan.
Is this you trying to rally an entire country?
In 2010, Mayweather assaulted ex-girlfriend Josie Harris. In December 2011, Mayweather pleaded guilty to 1 count of misdemeanor battery domestic violence and no contest to 2 counts of harassment for hitting the mother of 3 of his children the year prior. Police were called to the scene after his 10-year-old son witnessed the attack and ran from the house to alert security. Harris, before her death in 2020, said the attack left her feeling ashamed.
So,
Well, I know what you did to your wife.
one thing about me,
Floyd's 50-0. Nah, he's 51-1. He beat
I was a battered woman. I felt embarrassed about saying I was a battered woman. I felt shame. I felt like it was my fault. What did I do? I didn't understand what a battered woman was at that time. Now I know I was in a very dysfunctional, hostile relationship and a victim of domestic violence. Despite pleading guilty to most of these charges, Mayweather has consistently evaded any negative impacts on his career. He has even tried to diminish the allegations that he beats women.
what do you want to say?
Let's go there.
My thing is this. You have to always have proof.
Did I kick, stomp, and beat someone? No, that didn't happen. I look in your face and say, no, that didn't happen, he told Katie Couric years later. Did I restrain a woman that was on drugs? Yes, I did. So if they say that's domestic violence, then you know what? I'm guilty. I'm guilty of restraining someone. In Mayweather's eyes, lack of photographic evidence equates to exoneration, as he has even said he should not be compared to Chris Brown or O.J. Simpson because there are no photos of his victims' injuries.
So one thing they know about me, they can say what
Are
they
you
want to
reading
say,
from a teleprompter?
but one thing that I do,
Boxing has no authoritative governing body that possesses the ability to meaningfully punish or exclude Mayweather from fights. But there is something to be said about our willingness to make a legend out of someone who has paid lawyer fees and fines for domestic violence charges with money he has made from punching for a living. Harris says she suffered physical abuse from the boxer on 6 occasions, the worst coming in September 2010, when Mayweather entered Harris's home as she slept, yanked her to the floor by her hair, then punched and kicked and screamed cuss words at her in front of their children.
Through things, there's been times, and I even say it in my book, I've hit his ass over the head with a Tonka trunk a few times too.
Harris has no interest in pro football. She didn't know who former Baltimore Ravens star Rice was, let alone his partner Janae. Harris says she unsuccessfully attempted to contact Janae on social media to let her know that she was not alone. The Prices were married a month after the NFL star knocked out Janae in an Atlantic City casino elevator, and one day after he was indicted on aggravated assault charges.
Try and go to bat and dilute whatever it is that he could possibly do.
I would definitely want to just tell her to please educate yourself, Harris said. What it is that is keeping her in that relationship, make sure it's worth it, because if they don't get the proper help together, then the chance of it happening again is very high. On the first occasion, the pair argued and Harris, unknown to Mayweather, called police, who arrived and advised him to leave. He did, but he returned at around 4 a.m. with an associate, James McNair. With Harris asleep on the couch, Karan, at Mayweather's insistence, let his father inside.
Not so much for me, but just for my children, because it becomes insensitive.
Floyd Mayweather was sentenced to 90 days in prison for assaulting Josie Harris. Harris says she awoke with Mayweather screaming and grabbing her hair. She says he'd read affectionate text messages between her and NBA basketball player C.J. Watson, described in her book draft as her summer love. Watson now plays for the Indiana Pacers. Efforts to reach him through the team were unsuccessful. With McNair present, the fighter rained punches and kicks upon her, according to the statements of Harris and the children. Harris was later treated at a hospital, but she believes Karan saved her from more serious harm.
And out to go get help, and thank God that he made that decision at a really young age.
My dad said to lock my door and stay in my room, Karan said, speaking softly but clearly as he sat beside Harris. I sat there and thought about what I was going to do next. just for like a minute. Karan's first action was to alert Harris's friend Georgia Parker, who lived in a guest house in the back of the property, that his mother was being attacked. Parker did not believe him, Karan said. So I ran and I tried to go through the front door to go to the security gate, Karan said.
There's so many accidents that happen that you may not mean to, hurt somebody.
But then his friend McNair came through the door and blocked off the stairway for me to go through. Then I went back into my room and locked the door and then ran back out of my bathroom and then hopped over the gate and went to the main entrance gate. I just told the guard that my mom was getting hurt and to call the ambulance and the police. The guard called law enforcement and approached the property. Mayweather and McNair left before police arrived, taking Harris's phone with them. To this day, Harris is unable to hold back tears when she recalls Karan's actions that night.
Yeah.
I believe professional fighters, aren't their hands considered lethal weapons?
They are.
So you could be charged.
And you know what? I didn't testify against Floyd, and that wasn't Floyd and I's first,
I just thanked him because I didn't know how long it was going to continue to go on, she said. And I just feel like if he wouldn't have gone to get the help, that I may not even be able to be sitting here. Karan Mayweather sees his father, hangs out with him on weekends, and is treated to pretty much whatever he wants, including a Bentley golf cart, a photo of which Mayweather posted on Instagram this week. Karan has been to big fights, but knows one thing for certain: he wants nothing to do with the fierce world of boxing. We just hang out. We either watch a movie or something or go bowling, he said. I find boxing boring. It is just like how people sit in the ring and fight for 12 rounds and it gets boring after a while. Sometimes they run.
Come home and take care of the house. So if something's out of place, that was a big, huge, just 50 being 50 Cent.
Karan says recalling the attack on his mother still makes him angry. Yet the most difficult part to cope with has been Mayweather's refusal to admit to his actions. He is a coward, Karan said, and he hugged his mom. Mayweather has declined to acknowledge in public what he admitted in court in a plea bargain. Until the revelation, Harris had not publicly released the documents relating to the night of the attack. In addition to her son's statement, she has a dossier of other documents that paint a damning picture of Mayweather.
Yeah, Tank is not signed to Mayweather Promotions.
Okay. Gotcha.
He's not signed to Mayweather Promotions.
Following his exit from Mayweather Promotions, Leonard Ellerbe has been working against Floyd Mayweather and feeding federal agents with the needed information regarding his whereabouts and properties. While Rick Glazer also confirmed it, Floyd Mayweather's recent public appearances proved that Gervonta Davis's allegations were either lies or perhaps he was able to settle his way out of the country in May. However, Leonard Ellerbe has now claimed that Floyd Mayweather was truly held hostage in Dubai, and his release was only granted on the condition that all his bank accounts were blocked until he settled his debt. Evidently, Leonard Ellerbe's relationship with Floyd Mayweather, as the then CEO of his boxing promotions company, is what made him privy to this, as he had been aware of this news even before Gervonta Davis. According to Leonard Ellerbe, Floyd Mayweather has been back in the States, but remains held down in Dubai. While Leonard Ellerbe didn't give more details about Floyd Mayweather's detainment, there were several leaks over the past weeks that hinted boxing fans on his detainment.
To do something amazing. We had an incredible run, and I'm forever grateful and thankful.
Apparently, Ellerbe leaked evidence that Mayweather was fronted an insane amount of cash at a casino. But he promptly lost all the money gambling. As of now, there are no legal casinos in Dubai, so it must have been a private casino. As a result, Mayweather's private jet was reportedly surrounded by police, and his money was no good at the Dubai airport, as his account was blocked also. Mayweather's detainment in Dubai meant he could travel anywhere in Dubai and live as large as he wanted, only that he mustn't step outside the country. To effect this, the Dubai authorities mounted security agents around his private jet to ensure he doesn't escape. But it's generally believed that Floyd Mayweather owes a substantial amount of money, which was likely in the hundreds of millions of dollars range. Hence, he pays as much as over $20 million in debt monthly. And rather than make smarter moves regarding his debts, he has continued his lavish lifestyle, leading him to more debts. Also, another thing we do know is Dubai is notorious for holding Americans captive if they owe any amount of money. The news media were suspiciously quiet about the Mayweather rumors.
And my description of him, he's a horrible person.
Well, let's talk about one of your fighters, Gervonta Tank Davis, returning.
It's sad how Leonard Ellerbe and Floyd Mayweather have turned out to be from two best buddies to enemies who would wash their dirty linens in public. The gift of vision is one that very successful people often share. The gift of that moment when you see something before anyone else does, and you invest all your time and energy in that something special. You can call it brilliance, you can call it luck, but whatever it is, the successful people recognize it and commit to it. For Washington native Leonard Ellerbe, something special turned out to be Floyd Mayweather Jr. Ellerbe, a former amateur fighter, personal trainer, and U.S. An Air Force veteran who grew up in the district, saw Mayweather in the ring training in Las Vegas when Mayweather was just 13 years old. He was a very good young fighter, Ellerbe said.
You know, and Floyd was that guy, you know, and the two worlds collided, and we used that as a platform for Floyd to go on to become the biggest star in the sport. This one's different because, you know, social media.
Ellerbe would become Mayweather's advisor in 1997, shortly after he began his professional career. And 18 years later, as the chief executive officer of Mayweather Promotions, he stood front and center of what would become the most lucrative fight in the history of boxing. The long-anticipated showdown between Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao on Saturday night at the MGM Grand Garden in Las Vegas. I've been through big promotions before, but the demand for this has been an incredible demand now for some time, Ellerbe said. That has driven the revenue to record-breaking numbers. It's the fight that everyone has been talking about for quite some time. It was the vision Ellerbe and Mayweather have shared together since those early days, a $100 million payday for one night of boxing.
I already got a jet. I need a helicopter. Right.
So yeah,
I had a vision early on what Floyd could accomplish, Ellerbe said. We talked about him being the first fighter to make $100 million in a night. We talked about this 15 years ago. There have been many reports about the new power broker behind the scenes in boxing, Al Heyman, and his influence with the 38-year-old Mayweather as manager and advisor. But it has been Ellerbe who has survived the longest with the volatile Mayweather. It has been Ellerbe who has been the constant support for Mayweather among the fighting Mayweathers. His father, Floyd Sr., a former super welterweight fighter who, as at times estranged from his son, and his uncle Jeff, a former super featherweight world champion who has trained Mayweather when not in trouble himself. Ellerbe was with Mayweather even when the fighter wound up in a Las Vegas jail for 3 months on a domestic violence conviction. In the topsy-turvy world of Floyd Mayweather Jr., the presence of Ellerbe is the one thing that the world champion undefeated fighter could count on.
It was a great night. And see, this is what happens when I tell people, I said, Gervonta Davis is the most exciting fighter in the sport.
He knows he can trust me, Ellerbe said. I am very blessed to have played an integral part in his career. You won't appreciate the impact he has had on boxing until he is gone from the sport. He had been a game changer. He changed the game of boxing. At a time when the sport of boxing has fallen off a cliff on the American sports scene, Mayweather became his nickname, Money Mayweather, as the highest earning athlete on the planet. According to Forbes magazine, earning $105 million in 2014 for 2 fights, he could make $180 million in one night Saturday, his next to last fight, according to Ellerbe.
I'm just not blowing smoke up you guys' ass. I mean,
am I the best bank robber?
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that.
We've had a great run, he said. I'm very happy he will be retiring. He has accomplished everything in his career that he has wanted to do and will go down in history as the best ever to do it. Along with that, he was the best businessman in sports. The numbers bear it out. I'm just thankful he afforded me the opportunity to help navigate his career. Mayweather Promotions will continue to be a force in boxing, Ellerbe said. I'll continue to run our promotional company, he said. We have a very good stable of fighters. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.